Hey guys, what's up? It's Yannick and welcome back to Gasoline Culture. Welcome to a video that I would never have expected to put out on this channel, especially not after our comeback. And yeah, it's concerning the fire that happened on the Ferrari F430 this weekend, as you may have seen on social media or maybe even on the news. And yeah, I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of you guys, thank the community for all the beautiful, warming messages that we got, not asking, how the car is or what happened, but really just asking whether we're fine, whether we're safe. And I'm happy to say, thank God, that no one was hurt in this incident. So yeah, just a big thank you from our side, because it's always nice to see that people care. And yeah, the other thing is a big sorry and a big thank you to the owner of the car, who made me feel as comfortable as humanly possible in such a situation. He really saw it for what it is, and he's just happy that we're fine. So again, I know it's a big loss for him, and I really do apologize for what happened, even though it was a mechanical failure and there was nothing I could do. So yeah, that's that. I think it makes most sense to show you a clip that we recorded yesterday, so the day after the incident, showing you the car, just where it was dumped after the fire, to show you the extent of the damage on the car. I mean, the front end is kind of still fine, right? But the rear end is completely gone, and the car is beyond repair, unfortunately. It's a car that was very close to my heart. But yeah, just gonna show you what the car looks like now. Okay guys, so we're here in a nice little mountain village where this thing was trailered off to right after the incident, where it burned down. As you can see, the front end of the car is actually in perfect shape, but the back is completely and utterly destroyed. Filming this on my iPhone, I hope the quality is good. I mean, the whole rear of the car is completely gone. Here's the engine, absolutely smoldered down to a crisp. There you can see the carbon fiber buckets inside, steering wheel. Quite surprised to see that the ceramic discs on the back are actually looking pretty good, and so is the paint on the calipers. That's all still there. So is the exhaust system. Very surprising, actually. It's pretty much intact. Just the smell coming off of this thing is awful. It's the interior of the car. I don't know if you can see that. The steering wheel absolutely melted down. They shoveled everything from the road right into the car. That's why it's full of like sand and everything. Here are the seats. Sorry, the sun's shining into the camera right now. But there's the door. I mean, still full of water in there. Jesus Christ. Obviously, I couldn't find my phone anymore. That's also been burnt to a crisp. It's a shame. Perfect Grigio Titanio manual F430 with ceramic brakes, bucket seats from the factory. Beautiful car. It'll always worked perfectly well, and is now gone off to the graveyard. So as you saw, the car is completely burnt down to a crisp in the back, right? There's no other way to put it. And yeah, it's very upsetting for me as well. I mean, I sourced the car originally, and it goes without saying that the manual Ferrari F430 is one of the best driver's cars out there. I mean, it's literally one of the best cars I've ever driven, and I've been fortunate enough to have driven so many sports cars, supercars, even hypercars, and I'd have to say that the manual Ferrari F430 is one of the all-time greats. It's one of the best cars money can buy, one of the most involving and sort of pure automotive experiences that you can get. And especially this car, I mean, it was in a perfect spec, and it's just such a shame to see it go. Yeah. But let me give you a little bit of information on what actually happened that day. So we actually had planned to do a Save the Manuals mini-series for you guys, showing you all the manual supercars, you know, that we all love so much, and having access to the owner's collection of manual supercars and very rare, amazing vehicles. You know, there wouldn't have been a better way than to start off with a manual F430. So we got there. He lives in the Swiss mountains. We got up super early, got there, and started filming in the garage. And my cameraman and business partner Yuri actually noticed that we were having some audio difficulties with the camera, and then I decided to call it off because there's no point in putting in hours of work to then, you know, see later on the computer that the footage is unusable because we don't have audio. But considering the fact that we had gotten up, we decided to make the most of it and just go for a drive and enjoy the car. I mean, you know, he has amazing roads around the area where he lives. So yeah, we took the car out and, you know, went for at least a 1.5 hour drive. And the car was perfect, the way it always was. I mean, I sourced the car for him originally, and I mean, it's a one owner car from new, Swiss delivered car, perfect service history. It had just been accredited with the Ferrari premium certificate for like future classics. It's like this new thing that they do, which was done at one of the most prestigious and well-known Ferrari service dealerships here in Switzerland. So it's the kind of place where people from abroad like fly their cars in to have them serviced there. Top-notch service. So, you know, the car was in perfect running order, the way it had always been. And so we were driving along and just pulling up onto the highway. We settled down at a cruising speed of 120 kilometers an hour, where all of a sudden the entire interior just lit up, like a huge flash came from the back, from the engine compartment. And I mean, it was crazy. The whole black leather interior lit up. I mean, it was like the beginning of a concert. And from the corner of my eye, I just saw a huge, like, orange flame from the engine. And then, you know, Yuri starts yelling, "Fire, fire, fire." And I couldn't even look back because I was so shocked when it happened that I you know, tried to get into the right lane because we were on the left lane, and then brought the car to a stop as quickly as possible, so really hitting the brakes as hard as possible. And it was then that for the first time I could actually see or you know, turn around to have a look at what was going on. I mean, was it just an initial flame that died down, and was it just smoking now, or what was actually going on? It was the first time that I could have a look. And it turns out that the whole car was already completely ablaze. I looked behind me and there was a raging fire, a lot of black smoke and huge orange flames. I then looked forward again, undid my seatbelt and briefly looked for my phone and my things that I had with me, only to find out that I couldn't find them. They had probably gone into the down into the pedal box when I halted the car and braked very hard. And that's when I realized, okay, I need to get the hell out of this car. So I opened the door and ran out behind the car, whilst Yuri actually got out and ran forwards. But I was on the highway side, so there were cars passing, and with the open door, I didn't want to go around the door and forwards. I for some reason ran backwards, and that's when I could see that the car was completely on fire. The whole rear of the car was already engulfed in flames, and I was horrified. It was the worst feeling I think I've ever had in my life, and I knew that this car was gone, but my phone was inside the car, so I yelled to Yuri he should call the fireman, and he yelled back like, SOS, SOS, and I didn't really know what he was trying to say. Orange, look, the SOS box behind you. And I turn around and, we have these sort of SOS boxes every couple 100 meters on the Swiss highways where you can call the emergency hotline, if you will. And so I sprinted. It was about 100 meters away. I just sprinted towards that box, and I jabbed the button someone picked up, and I was just yelling at them to send the fire brigade as quickly as possible. So first to the scene were the police, which obviously couldn't put out the fire, and the car was just burning and burning and burning. I mean, you know, the flames got bigger and bigger, the smoke got bigger and bigger. It was crazy. I was in awe and in shock, and I just couldn't believe that this was happening. And then eventually 20 minutes later, the fire brigade came and blasted the car with water and put out the fire. But obviously we could already see that the car was gone. And again, it was such a shocking moment for me because it came out of nowhere. The car was working perfectly on that day, the way it always did, and I felt so comfortable. I felt so at ease with this vehicle. It really is a car that is very trust-inspiring, so it's something that if you like cars, you get used to, and you feel very at home in, if you will. And the fire just came out of nowhere. And yeah, it's probably one of the most shocking and horrifying experiences I've ever had in my life. And I'm just glad that we're all okay, but the car's gone. And just wanted to give you a little bit of information on what happened. Feel free to ask us any questions below if you have any. And hopefully see you soon in a further video on this channel. Take care, guys. Ciao for now.